So this is what these charts are good for, is they bring out all these little things that you have to deal with in order to make the line really perfect and groove and feel good.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's stuff like that you don't really think about doing.
Because in an exercise book, reading that stuff that we're reading, it's good for counting and, navigating note names and stuff. But it doesn't really account for stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
All right, so the last two measures of letter B, that third line, no big deal. You are going from the C on that last measure. You're going from the C to the G back to the C, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, a lot of times you would like just use, because you're going to be on the same fret, the third fret, the C is going to be on the third fret of the A string, but you're going to be on the fourth or third finger. Because think about where you're coming from. So you got to remember you're going to be there because you just came from there.
Yeah, I'm going to probably be here with the second finger.
Yeah, but see, you would have to shift to that from the F. Because you're going like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. No big deal. You could just jump to the second finger, but you would have to shift to it. But chances are you probably play it with the third or fourth finger because you've just been down there doing it for the past, 6 measures, right?
Oh, yeah, because I have to do it again in the
So anyway, when I go to that G, if I just stay on my fourth finger, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Play that G with the third finger. I call this cross fingering. Rather than jump my finger from string to string, I have one available, I'll do it this way. And it makes a much smoother transition between those two notes.
Oh, yeah. With your fingers there anyway.
Right.
Third finger.
So I utilize cross fingering a lot. Especially if I want my notes nice and smooth and connected and they're both in the same fret.
Yeah, rather than trying to jump down.
Yeah, that tends to be a little awkward and it usually doesn't feel that great.
I guess we could do the same for the D minor.
Well, we have an issue there too. Because if you play that D open, you have to mute that D for half a beat when you play that open A. Since you're down in this area, I would probably play that D open.
Oh, since I'm down here. Okay, yeah.
Because I'm down there with that finger, so you got to think about where you're coming from fingering wise. If I'm down there, I'll probably open D is a lot easier to get to.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I was just thinking the D to the A. I'm like, oh, you could do that cross fingering there too.
You could, but you'd have to get to that D to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah.
So probably in a real life situation, you probably would go to an open D. It's just closer and easier to get to. But then you have an issue of any time you have a higher open string going to a lower open string. You have to mute the higher one, otherwise it will overring the lower one.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right, so you can either mute it or you can play the fifth fret equivalent and do it that way.
Okay.
Right, so now shifting doesn't seem like such a bad idea. So if I do that cross fingering, see, I might, instead of crossing to the third finger, I might cross to the second or even the first. So I go 4, 4, 3, and then go to the first finger on beat 4 there of that measure, the last measure.
Oh, the D minor?
No, on the C.
Oh, on the C.
Last measure of letter B on the third line down.
Oh, okay, on the C.
Because I got to think about how I'm going to get to the fifth fret for that first note on that D minor chord.
Oh,
because I don't want to play that open because I create a real muting headache to try to keep that string quiet and keep the groove going and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then.
So muting open strings is a lot harder, a lot more challenging than you think. So if you can work around it, it's usually good to do so.
Okay, especially for that D minor, because there'll be two open strings, unless you do
Hmm.
something else. Okay, yeah. So do like the spider thing on the last bar.
So on that last measure of letter B, third line, I'm going 4, 4, 3, 1, 4 to the D. That's a way to get up there smoothly. See what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And then play the D there. And then that takes care of your muting problem with that open A.
Okay,
No, just
yeah.
play open A there. You're already on the A string, so just play an open A.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I'd probably get to the third finger so I could cross finger to the G for that next measure.
Oh, and then G on the fourth.
Right. So I got 1 and 2, 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so I leave that fourth finger ready for the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
Okay, yeah, because then you could do the cross thing again.
and I probably wouldn't play those D's on the open string. I'd play them on the 5th fret and cross finger. Because the open string is going to sound weird, plus it's going to be difficult to do those accents.
Oh, okay.
So compare, yeah, the way the open D string will react compared to the 5th fret G string notes.